Hi, I'm Tyrone, and before I share my testimony that Pastor June had encouraged me to do, I wanted to share a little bit of my time telling you about this grief, loss, and support group that Annalise and I did that was led by Pastor June. My mom had died in 2018, and to this day, I still had feelings of sadness and some loss. Going through the group helped me so much to completely get rid of these feelings. I'm really thankful of Pastor June for leading that group, and she really helped me a lot with that. It all started when I was 6 months old. My grandma, Nancy Z, and my pappy had adopted me from my mother. I was brought into this church family and always have been going to church all my life. I remember my childhood living with my grandma, and pappy and uncle were fun. And I got to play and have fun and just be a little boy I was at the time. Very filled with energy. I would run around the house, and then my pappy would sit in his chair, and I would jump on him. Well, one time I ran and hit my head on the corner of the wall, and I passed out. I was rushed to the hospital, and the doctor gave me stitches. I had split part of my forehead open. I believe God saved me from that, and He was with me that day to keep me safe. A little years later, my pappy got diagnosed with cancer. When I turned 7 years old, I remember my grandma and I came home from the store, and my pappy and three uncles were sitting there in the living room. He had said that their daughter, Jada, had passed away, and that was my aunt. I was sad, but I didn't know her well since she didn't come around our house a lot. It was a devastating loss for the family because she was important. She was only in her 30s. Also, that year, my pappy had passed away due to cancer, and my nana and my grandma's mom. It was a tough 2013 for us from all of the deaths in our family. We had kept strong and prayed and kept following God. Later in 2018, my mom had died. That was hard, but I still stayed strong and lived my life. God was with me. During my school times, I was homeschooled from fourth grade till this year when I graduated. I liked being homeschooled, but didn't have a lot of friends and started to feel lonely and get anxiety. Because of this loneliness I was desperate for friends, and it led to more things. I started watching inappropriate things. I was 12 years old, and after watching these things, it started happening more and more and more. I began to struggle with an addiction. During these times, I was going to church, but I didn't feel God in my heart. I felt so alone, and my only goal was to get more friends. With my anxiety, it wasn't helping either. It's been a few months now. I was 13 years old and struggling with my addiction. It pursued more with me getting involved with asking and sending inappropriate photos to people. I had asked someone I knew, and her brother had told me, and the police were involved. I was really scared and so upset and broken. I thought I was going to have to go to juvie, even though I wasn't feeling God with me. He was looking over me and keeping me safe and was always there for me. A few days after everything, I felt so embarrassed with my family and didn't think I was going to get my life changed around. I had a nightmare one night, and I saw myself falling down into a dark hole, and it was me falling to hell. I told myself this all needs to stop. I think God was showing me something that day. I started to pray and ask God for help for my loneliness and my addictions and my anxiety. At this time, it was COVID times, and our church wasn't having services. My Uncle Joe had offered me one week if I wanted to go to this new church with him in White Oak. I said yes. I had met this young man named Brandon, and he told me about the youth group. I had joined, and we had some groups with just guys, and I told them what I was struggling with, and they helped me so much with it. The next week, they were talking about water baptisms. I was nervous, but Brandon had told me maybe I should do it. That Sunday, I had signed up for the water baptisms. I had kept praying to God for help with my problems. Finally, the day came. I was getting water baptized. I was 14 years old and rededicated my life back to Jesus. Being born again, it was the best feeling ever. I felt like a different person. To this day, my addiction has been gone since September of 2021. I thank God for saving me from that awful addiction. I'm not alone anymore. I have God, my church family, my girlfriend, and her son. It is so amazing how God is always still with you, even if you don't feel it. I love him and he loves me, even for my mistakes in the past. Yes, they happened, and I wish they didn't, but I believe that doesn't define me as a person now. Thank you for always loving and putting me as a part of a team here at Circleville. I'm so thankful to have God in my life. I'm also giving credit and thanks for my grandma, my uncles, my girlfriend, and Harvey. Everyone has a huge part in my life. I love you all, and this is a wonderful church, and we are doing great things for the people in this world. Amen.